So welcome everyone to another topic on Data Archiving 101 with Mark. Today's topic, we will be talking about Office 365. Most of you will agree Office 365 provides a great collaboration tool, a productivity tool in the cloud. However, Office 365 email compliance and discovery can be a challenge. So for today's topic, we're going to welcome back Mark. Welcome back, Mark.
Hi, Laura. Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone. So let's get started. Mark, I think it's fair to say COVID-19 has pushed many to the cloud much faster than they would have anticipated or planned. Have we had many queries from clients in relation to maybe needing a third-party archiving solution alongside Office 365?
Yeah, Laura, I suppose I'd say at least 50% of our clients are in the process of moving, have moved, or are planning to move from an on-prem environment to a cloud environment, the most popular being Office 365. So I think, there are a host of benefits that they see as part of that solution, but they're also getting slightly swamped with the application, the complexity, how it all ties together. So a lot of our clients are leaning on that safety blanket of using a third party that they're familiar with, like MailMeter. So thankfully for us, a lot of our clients will not add the expense in Office 365, but stick to the applications like MailMeter that are simple and intuitive for them to use.
Okay, and then that brings me on to my next question. So I suppose from outside of the clients, why would people watching this, why would they need a third-party email archiving solution such as MailMeter with Office 365?
So I get that question asked to me all the time when I'm doing sales demos. It's always the same answer. Three things. Cost. We're about 5 times cheaper than the modules you need in Office 365. I think that's the least important. Complexity. How we provide the functionality through a managed service to the complexity on how to do it in Office 365 through no fault of their own. They have to cater to everybody, is chalk and cheese. So the simplicity of MailMeter versus the complexity of these tools in Office 365. And then ultimately, third, the managed service. You don't use these type of e-discovery tools all day, every day. So our clients rely on us when that incident occurs. So cost, complexity, managed service are the 3 reasons.
Okay, so in terms of the compliance part, what do you think is the biggest gap in the Office 365 compliance module?
I wouldn't so much say gap. I mean, the architecture, because of the size of it, is done in batches and searches are done in batches. So it can be a little slow if you're doing a very complex and large search, but I'd more say the complexity of the total solution and how it all fits together can be the gap from the compliance point of view, because you have to understand how each piece fits through the process. So more complexity being a negative than the gaps within the solution, I would say. Okay,
and you mentioned costs there earlier. I suppose people watching this, if they have Office 365, they'll relate it is costly. Office 365, as it grows, I suppose customers get pulled in to buy more add-ons and it gets even more expensive. How can organizations reduce their Office 365 while also, I suppose, protecting and being able to manage their data?
Well, I suppose the first thing is it's a stated goal of Microsoft to have everybody on E5 licenses at $50 a month. That's what they did in their Vegas seminar there about 18 months ago. So that's their goal, to push us all to E5, and they'll add little modules and they'll take them out of E3 and put them into E5 and entice us to move that way. So from a cost point of view, learn what each of the licensing modules gives you. Make sure you need all of that functionality, or indeed any of that functionality, before you go. It might be worth a little bit of time to understand there are alternatives to some of the functionality. If an extra licensing module gets you 12 different functions, but you're looking for one, well, then it might be easier and cheaper to go look for a product that specializes in that one thing.
Okay, talking about licensing sounds complicated and probably overly complicated. What licensing is required with MailMeter?
Well, I suppose you could think of MailMeter matches up with the Advanced Compliance Manager module in Office 365. So E3 gives you legal hold for mail, but it doesn't give you the manipulation required now in the post-GDPR world. So you have that manipulation functionality, that nuanced functionality in E5. MailMeter can be the add-on to an E1 or a E3 to match that functionality, as I said, 5 times cheaper. Because it can be, $35 or euro a month to go from E1 to E5, or maybe 15 to go from E3 to E5. So if you're going to pay that per mailbox per month, make sure the cost justifies the functionality you're going to use. If it's not, then there are things like MailMe that can do it, as I said, easier and cheaper.
Okay, so what can organizations then do ASAP or as soon as possible in order to avoid this vendor lock-in with the likes of Microsoft?
I think educate yourself on what you need. Look at the alternatives. Understand your way out. I think that's a good tip for anything. When you're about to embark on a project, if you have to stop and reverse course, what does that look like? If we want to stop using cloud services in 3 years, how do we come out of that? So I think it's educating yourself on, the way out of vendor lock-in before you get locked in. It's too late when you're locked in fully. Look at the alternatives. And a lot of people will use MailMeter for that. For instance, if MailMeter has a copy of all mail that's coming in and out of Office 365, then maybe I don't need backups in Office 365 because MailMeter has a copy outside of that footprint.
Okay, so we're coming to the end of our topic today, Mark. Have you any other final tips? I know you've just after given a few there, but have you any last tip that you'd like to leave everybody with today?
I think, and this is a hard task, and I haven't been able to do it, if you can understand how Office 365 is presented and what you're paying for, your migration specialist to take you from on-prem to Office 365 has a vested interest in you going with the highest licensing module and taking and implementing every application. Do a SWOT analysis on each of the applications. It's a brilliant set of tools for us, but that doesn't mean we have to do all of it. A lot of our clients use Office 365 from an email point of view as their communication device, but we're the e-discovery device.
Okay. That's great, Mark. That's bringing us up on time there now. So thank you very much.
No problem, Laura.
Great. For anyone else looking for more information on MailMeter or any other of our products, you can visit our website on www.waterfordtechnologies.com. Thanks, Mark. See you next week for our next topic.
Take it easy. See you, everyone.